I know what it like to have no options. I know what it like to be alone. I know what it like to pick your pockets and not even a dime to
What up,
call
guys?
your
We're
own.
back.
No,
This is the Till You
God.
Collapse podcast, and I'm your host, Brian. I missed you guys. Hope you missed me. Scotty, why are you laughing at me?
I was just chilling over
Every
here.
time we do this intro, it's different, guys.
It's a
We're
new
trying to narrow
intro.
it down. Scotty's laughing at me. I really don't care.
What's going on, y'all?
Yo, Scotty,
What's
rap
up?
with me a little bit.
I'm rapping with
What's
you.
new with you?
Not much.
Let the world know.
Just working.
Not much. You're killing the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting better every day. That's the goal.
Now you're doing 2 brands. How's that feel?
Yeah, Vital Minds and TYC. It's
How do you
cool.
like
It's
it?
fun. I actually like branching out and doing different stuff from the day to day.
Yeah.
It's completely different product, so it's like
Right?
it's new. It's like a new challenge.
Isn't it
So
kind
it's
of
cool.
Isn't it kind of cool to see something from the beginning?
Yeah, it really is. Just every step of the way. I love
You're
it.
here. You're here for it, man. I'm glad you're here for it, man. Because, obviously TYC, you came in 4 or 5 years after it started.
Right now, this is like
Like
actually.
you're here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's awesome,
I'm
man.
glad to be a part of it.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. You're doing a great job. So,
Thanks.
guys, we're doing something new today, huh? This
Yeah,
actually
this
your
is gonna be
idea, I
cool,
think.
yeah.
This was Scotty's idea.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm tired of the same old bullshit. B, let's do something to spice it up."
So we went on Brian's account and we asked you guys to ask him questions, so we can kind of incorporate you
Like
guys
a Q&A.
like a Q&A.
Like
yeah.
a live Q&A. All these questions are real and raw. I haven't really looked over these. I just opened it up right now, and I'm going to answer them kind of off the whim, almost improv style. I'm not looking at these here's the thing. A lot of people on podcasts, a lot of people on social media, and you guys know this, they rehearse a lot of shit. They review shit. They get ready for shit like days, weeks in advance before they do it because they're always worried about that perfect factor. And you guys know me how I do shit, and that's why it kind of pisses Brent off because Brent's more that kind of Brent's very more structured and wants to plan for shit.
Yeah, I had to learn that too. Like honestly, just it's kind of you get used to it, but it's kind of a good thing too because then you're just always ready.
Yeah. Yeah,
it does help a lot in life.
I remember you did. You've gotten so much better at that.
Yeah,
You used to be like, "We're doing what?
Let's fucking do it." Yeah.
I had people show up, and I'm like, "Hey, Scotty, you're shooting this," and it's like, "We're doing what?"
15 minutes later. Yeah.
So that's the thing is, I'm more like real, raw, improv, and just spontaneous almost.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean? And
yeah.
like I said, I get planning is good. There's positives and negatives to both. I've just never been much of a planning person. It's something I'm not strong at, and I never really have done it. So I kind of
especially for like what we do when it's creating content, it's more like sometimes you'll just like overthink it so much that it never actually gets created, as opposed to what we do a lot of is just like, oh, I'm not sure what to do, but let's just go out and shoot and we'll figure it out as we go. And like 9 times out of 10 it's pretty cool, like the things we do.
And you guys, we're doing some planning. You guys have come up with
Yeah.
some good skits and stuff like
gotten,
that.
Yeah, it's gotten way better since Kyle's been here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle.
Carly's been helping too. She's killing it.
Carly's helping. Everyone's helping,
Yeah.
man. We're a family, right?
For sure.
We want to see these companies win, right?
Yep.
We got to get you the big bucks. I want to make it rain on you, Scotty.
Let's go.
And you too, Kyle. So what we're doing today is we asked questions to my following. It's like a Q&A. We're recording the podcast. I want to give you guys value on what you guys want questions answered and what you guys are wondering. We got about 4 to 6 good ones. Honestly, hopefully we can get more as we go on. This is something I really want to do for you guys. So if you're listening to this podcast and you follow my personal account, which is at Brian Nabavi, my first and last name, follow me and ask questions. Think about what you want to know. Anything. Fitness, business, life.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like when we ask you guys. You can ask him, and then if it's like a really good question, we'll go out and like make a piece of content about it,
And we were also thinking, I do a lot of mentorship calls. Honestly, I haven't done any recently. I used to do more back in the day.
Yeah.
I've been so busy now with both companies that I have people that are wanting to do it, and I feel bad because I haven't even had the time to do it. But we may even do like a live call on a podcast on the air.
That'd be legit. Yeah.
So if you have a business, if you're starting a business, if you want to talk to me, send me a DM and we can set up a live podcast call. You can be featured on the podcast. Your question, live on the phone talking to me.
Yeah,
How
seriously,
cool would
guys,
that
we're
be?
not just saying this. Like, we really want
Yeah,
you to reach
yeah,
out
I'm
to
serious.
us.
Like,
you
we're
know?
trying to, we're trying to change it up and keep it fresh and keep it different. And that's why we're doing this. We don't want to just keep doing the same old shit. Why the fuck is Brent looking at me through the window like a weirdo?
Creeper.
Anyways, guys, hey, like I said, I get real. We're not editing this. Like, you're gonna hear that on the podcast. This guy just looks at the window like a stalker.
Brent's always creeping.
Anyways, Kyle's dying over here. Kyle, that's how I am, Kyle. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, the questions here, guys, we're going to go through them one by one. I'm going to answer them the best I can. These are candid, not prepared answers, so they might not be that polished, but they'll be my real candid response. So the first one, somebody asked, balancing work, kids, and being a husband, share how you are doing it. And this is something I think that a lot of entrepreneurs fail at and struggle with. There's a really, really high divorce rate with self-employed people, entrepreneurs, because, when you're a high-level entrepreneur, to get to that level, you have to have such an insane amount of work ethic and drive and such huge goals. It takes those long hours. It takes those day after day, 7 days a week. It's what I've done to get here and it's required. Like I made a post the other day that a lot of times people taste a little bit of success and they step off the gas and they kind of start relaxing and they kind of start having more of that life balance, and then they start to lose everything that they built, basically. Because once you reach a certain level of success, it's even harder to maintain it than it is even to get to that point. And God forbid not maintaining what you got, but then, like I said, me trying to grow this to a higher level, it is a constant work. And it's one of the hardest things I've had to do. And I got to admit, it's something I think I do better than a lot of entrepreneurs. You guys know I have 4 kids. I coach multiple sports. I don't miss any of their games. As far as also, you guys know I run out of here in the middle of the day. Like there's certain times, but a lot of times what I'll do that is I'll come back, or I'll work a Saturday or I'll work a Sunday. I make up the time that I.
So you kind of just don't ever have like free time besides like your family time versus work time.
Honestly, that's it.
Yeah.
There's my free time, my me time is when I'm in there working out for an hour.
Yeah.
That's my me time. And that's honestly the only me time I need is my workout. Honestly, other than that, you hit it on the head. It's working here. I mean, even 7 years into this and starting a new company, I get here around 7:30, 8 a.m. And then I'm typically here normally till 7:30. That's still after all this time, and then I'm here on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's still typically, and not even counting the time I'm working at home, because I do work from my phone at home. So if you want to count that, I'm probably working, honestly, still an average of 50 to 60 hours a week. Still, and when I first started, that first year and a half to 2 years, it was 18 to 20 hour days consistently. Whenever you're building something is the most. And that's when there was no balance. My family and my family balance suffered.
So you've gotten better over time.
I've gotten better. Well, here's the thing. It's when you're building something from the ground, the first year to 2, if you really want to be successful, I feel like there's no level for balance at that level. Once you get past that initial hump, you got something up and running and you got something going, then you have to make the conscious effort to realize that your kids, your wife, your family is worth it. Because that's a hard thing when you're seeing success and when you're driven as much as I am. Honestly, if I was single and I didn't have any kids, I'd probably be here 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. I would be.
Yeah.
I'm that driven. I have that big of goals. I know I don't have that much time here. And for me to get those goals in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to take that kind of work. There's no way around it. It takes the work. And the people that are very successful, they're similar to that. But the problem is they don't make the time to coach their kids' teams. They don't do what I do and take off and go to their games, their recitals. They don't once or twice a week set aside date night with their wife still after being together for 15 years. I mean, we typically still go on a date night and set time for ourselves every week.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. We always see it on your Instagram.
Yeah, you see it,
stories,
and after 15 years of being together. But that's one thing that's very, very hard, and I'm still getting better at it. What I've been doing lately that's really helped with, I've noticed a relationship increase with my kids even lately, is because, everything's ran from this phone, social media. I literally can run the whole company from here. I could not come in here and do everything on my phone and be working for 12 hours in a day. to social media, answer DMs, answer emails. That's what we do. That's a huge part of this business. And I do a lot of that at home. And the thing is, they see me on the phone, and I'm not just fucking around. Like when you see most people on the phone that work 9-to-5 jobs, they're not working from their phone. They're literally just messing around, scrolling through Instagram, just doing the whole social media thing, which get addicting, but they're not really getting anything out of it. I'm literally working, which isn't, regardless, it's bad to be on your phone that much. And that's one of the struggles with it, is what I've been doing is as soon as I get home, I put my phone away. It really don't even answer it till everyone's asleep. And I used to be bad at coming home and still working. I'd be on my phone. I'd be posting still. I'd be answering DMs and social media. It's helped since the girls took that job on and been helping. That's helped me largely because I used to do all the social media, and that's a full-time job. That never quits as we're growing. But it's always a work in progress. It's still a work in progress for me, but it's very important to me. As important it is to be successful and be able to have nice things and give back and take vacations and do all the kind of stuff I want to do, buy these cars. That's something that's important to me, but it's not more important than my family and kids and my relationship with my wife. And that's something that I feel like entrepreneurs have a hard time remembering, because they're the ones that I got started to do this in the first place, to create an amazing life for all of us and be able to do whatever we want to do together and live a nice life.
That's why you're doing it.
That's why I'm doing it, and live a life with not stressing about bills or any of that kind of stuff. That's why I'm doing all this. And I feel like that gets lost sometimes for a lot of people, because it does get addicting. You've seen the results. Like, I'm busting my ass, and you see how this company is growing from our work. It's work you put in, work you're putting in. You're making the videos. I mean, it's not just me. We all put in the work together.
Right,
We all take credit for that. But it's hard, man. It becomes like you get tunnel vision, and I can see it because it's a weekly struggle for me. I have to remember, put my phone down. Like, I still do it. Every day I don't do that. It's hard. You have to physically, mentally think about it and do it. But since I've been doing that, when I get home, just that 2-3 hours I get with the kids, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on when I get home. Sometimes I get home at 7:30, 8 still. I get home that late still, guys. And this is 7 years into a company. So, it's, it's just, I notice that time with them and focus towards them, they've been responding to it. Like my relationship's good with all of them. It's not like it's bad, but I notice it's better time, when I'm not worried about my phone, I'm not worried about doing this. Cause you figure I get home at 7:38, they go to bed at 8:39. That's already an hour and a half with them if I'm lucky. And then I spend another 30-40 minutes on this. I really get no time with them. So like I said, since I go home, I put my phone away. And then what I'll even do, guys, is I'll spend time with my kids. They go to bed. I'm spending time with my wife with my kids. Then I get a little bit of time with my wife by ourselves, which is important. But, her job is tough as hell, too. She's at home raising 4 kids. Yeah. I mean, that's just as hard as this job. That's one of the hardest jobs in the world. Yeah. I'm with them alone for an hour, and I'm like freaking out. Like, how the fuck do you do this? You know what I mean? And she does it day in and day out. So it's like she's exhausted, too. So hopefully we get an hour or two together. You know what I'm saying? Practice making babies.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I'm a good boy. But that's we get that time, and then still, I want you guys to hear this. 7 years into the game, some people think I'm successful. I'm not. I don't see myself as successful at all. I just feel like I'm getting started. I still stay up another hour or two, and then I work. And I'm still working. So that's, I work 7:30 till 7:30, spend those few hours with my family and my wife, which is important, put the phone away. Then they go to bed. And then if some nights I'm exhausted, it's tiring, and I go to bed with her. And some nights I'm not ready to go to bed, and I'll stay up and put another 1, 2, 3 hours of work in more, then go to bed, then get up and fucking start the whole process over again, man. So for the answer to that question, it's a struggle that everyone deals with. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs unfortunately fail at it because, like I said, getting into that focus of being successful and you're doing it to provide for your family, and you provide for her. You realize it's been 10, 15 years. You missed your kids growing up. You missed that time with your wife, and you guys have grown apart, and you see a lot of divorces in the entrepreneur self-employed space because of that.
Yeah.
So you have to care about it and make a conscious effort for it. And that's what I do. I always remind myself, why I'm doing this. they're the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
They
that's why you
motivate me.
started,
And
for sure.
like I said, as long as I balance the best way I can and still find a way to put in that work, I'm not going to work 8-hour days. I'm not going to work 7-hour days. Like I said, a lot of people get a little bit of success and then they take that, foot off the gas. And then they try to do more vacations, spend more time with family, which is great. But I feel like they go from one extreme to another too much. They go from, working those 20-hour days like it takes to build something, and then they get a little bit of success, and they go from working 20-hour days to 7 or 8 and spending a lot more time with their family. It's
And
like
they just
one
lose
extreme.
it.
Yeah, one extreme. It's work to maintain this shit. So that's the answer to that question, guys. Like I said, it's something I struggle with daily still. But like I said, my wife and my kids are the most important thing to me. And without them, I'd have none of this. And they're what drives me to do this. So as long as I remember that, and like I said, it's work. It's work. It's something I still struggle with. I've gotten a lot better with it, I would say, over the last even year. Recently, it's been a lot better. It's something I still struggle with. I've always made the time. The thing I've got best with over the last year is putting the phone away, because that's something, I always make time for date night. I always coach their teams. I coach their basketball, soccer, baseball, soccer, and I go to all their games, practices. I don't miss anything. And I make time for the wife, but the main thing for me is turning this phone off when I get home.
Yeah,
that's the
huge.
hardest thing. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. Hopefully you guys get something from that. We'll go on to the next question.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Yeah.
I don't have a mic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just feel like with that, people when they hear the entrepreneur starting out, right, they imagine like they hit a certain level of success, like you were talking about, and then like you were saying, they let off the gas, they buy that jet, they go travel everywhere. But it sounds like 7 years in, that's not what it is.
No. I mean, honestly, I only really started making a little bit of money over the last 2 years. So the first 5 years, I was broke as fuck, living paycheck to paycheck, barely paying my family's bills. I didn't have a nice car. I didn't even own a house. All this you see is within the last 2 years. Very quickly it's come. It's been all that work and effort, and finally it's paid off. But like I said, this is the tough part, because a lot of people will be content with this. I have a nice car sitting out there. I have a nice house. I'm okay. But for me, honestly, like, I'm good where I'm at. I make a decent amount of money. I have a decent amount of life. I have some money in the bank. I can invest that. I can double that. I can triple that. I'm a hustler. My life is pretty good as is, but like I told you guys, my main passion and goal that I've really have had a spark lit under my ass in the last 6 months to a year is providing a life for you guys. Like, this team's going to get bigger. I'm very passionate over getting you guys to the point like I'm at now. That's my goal. I told Brent and I told you guys, I think before, I want to have people on this staff that I pay $500,000 to $1 million a year to. Like, that's a goal of mine. Like, literally, to be like, have people that work here that came up from the start, stuck by my side, put in the fucking work like I have. I've worked 20-hour days. I still work 50, 60-hour weeks. And I got 4 kids. And I got multiple companies. And I have a wife. I got so much on my plate. I still make it happen because I have those goals, and I know it's not going to work unless we do that. But that's my goal, because as far as me, like, I'm living a good life. I have nothing to complain about. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And you guys are living okay too, but I want to get you to the point where you're like me right now. That's my goal.
Yeah.
This is the ground floor of this. Like, the next 2 years is going to be crazy, especially with Vital Minds.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what Vital Minds does.
Oh,
because
I have a huge vision for Vital Minds. I see that. It's coming up.
Yeah, right?
It's going to
because Vital Minds is here. Like, you see these 7 years with TYC. Like, I've gained all this knowledge over these 7 years. I've gained all this knowledge over the last 7 years, right? And it's like so many fails, so many, learning opportunities, stuff I've struggled with, because back when I started that, there was none of this. There was no podcast. Social media was just starting. So now it's night and day difference. I was literally like going on Google researching stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not an educated dude. Like, I barely graduated high school. Like, you guys know, I'll say it again, my kids add and spell better than me. Like, that's who I am. But I built this based on teaching myself. But what I'm saying is, Vital Minds, I've kind of taken everything from the last 7 years, and that's kickstarting with all that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that's kickstarting with the team behind it.
Yep.
Like the content we're creating, the things we're doing are
like
amazing.
we all know the product right off the bat too. Like know everything about it. Yeah,
it's like it's
cool.
night and day difference. So this is gonna go from 0 to TYC level in like a couple years instead of 7 years. Which would be nuts. We're gonna need a place 3 times this size.
Oh yeah, at least.
So I mean, and that's exciting. And so that rolls kind of into the next question somebody asked me is, what's your favorite part about starting a new company? Is what somebody asked. And that was kind of long-winded on the last question, guys. Sorry, Kyle had to ask a question, and then I kind of went off. But
you did good. That was
it was good. Answer. It was good. But my favorite part about starting a new company, I got to say, is and this will actually roll into the next question. These actually roll into each other pretty good. The favorite part about starting a new company is just change, excitement, the start of something new. Like I said, it's been 7 years since I started something new. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. Now I'm a lot more confident. I know what I'm doing. I've had 7 years of experience, 7 years of winning, losing, experiencing, and learning things on my own, to where this new company will take off from the ground up way faster. There's still mistakes. There's still stuff we're fucking dealing with right now. I mean, we've been kind of stuck with our fucking dualies in our hand for the last 3 weeks. Like we because of little things we made.
All the little hoops you got to jump through.
There's things that we have done, and Brent's my partner, and I'm empowering him to do stuff as well. And there's just little things that weren't done in the right way in the beginning that are causing holdups to happen, and that's fine. That's all about learning and building stuff up, and I have Brent helping out with a lot because this is his first company, and I'm like, you need to learn this. I'm empowering him and letting him handle stuff because he's starting something. He's never started a company, and I'm tasking him with stuff, kind of the beginning grunt stuff that needs to be done in a company to build it up. I've done that with TYC. I've done that. I want him to experience that.
Yeah, he's killing it, though.
He's doing an amazing job. Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. He's in there.
You can tell he's passionate about it, too.
Oh, he loves it. He's so excited. Like I said,
yeah.
I'm 110% happy with the partner I chose. Like I said, I'm grateful for him and the work he puts in. But even starting something the second time, there is stuff that shit happens. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And people start business and in life, there's always shit going to be happening. Even with 7 years experience, there's still little bumps that happen.
Still surprises that jump up for you.
And what you do
That's what keeps it fun, though, right?
Yeah, you just got to adapt and overcome and change direction and go in that route. And that's what we're doing. I've done that plenty of times over the last 7 years, and that's what keeps it interesting, But as far as that question, like I said, it's just excitement of starting something new and something that I'm actually really passionate about because I've talked to you guys about the results I've had from using the CBD in the last 3 weeks. And it's really like I see a noticeable difference in my way of life, my stress, my anxiety, my pain, my sleep. Everything is significantly better than 3 weeks ago when I started taking CBD every day. So I'm very passionate about it because I'm actually living it and experiencing it and seeing a benefit from it. So that's even more exciting because I went into it, I know there's a lot of studies on CBD. I know the benefits from it. And I know that based on my platform and what I know how to do, I could build something great and something pretty quick. So that's initially why I started, honestly, And now it's kind of a surprise to me because I had never tried CBD like this until we got our product in. And I legitimately started trying it. And now I'm even more passionate about it and really more excited about it than I even thought I would be because I believe in the product. I'm living proof of it. I use it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm passionate about it too. Like I didn't even know, I didn't even really care about CBD or anything like that. Now it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like,
and it's natural. It's from a plant. It helps with stress, anxiety, pain, sleep. Think about how many pills are out for all that shit.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical just made up prescription pills, and I'm all about if you can do something natural, so much better for you. So that's the answer to that question, man. It's just exciting, and it's exciting to find something I'm as passionate about as fitness because that's the main, drive behind TYC, and you have to have that passion behind it.
Were you ever kind of looking for something that you were passionate about more than fitness too? So you can maybe do another business with that?
I was because the thing is, and I've talked about before and this is kind of going to go into the next question. Actually, it's funny. I was looking for something because you guys know I'm so passionate about fitness, and CBD, that realm, it's something that I've always known about. I know there's good opportunity in it, and I'm a hustler, and I'm always looking for opportunity. I'm always looking for something to invest in, to have more opportunity to do. And I knew this was something that was going to be, great on social media, great with my, fitness and CBD kind of go hand in hand. So I have a pretty good network of, people that support TYC. So I knew that was a win-win. But now that I'm using it and really seeing that it is legit, I knew it was legit. Everyone's talking about it's legit, right? You can always hear people talk about this is legit, this works, this is. But until you actually experience it, like you're kind of skeptical, like you don't know, but I knew there was something behind it. That's the only reason why I considered it on top of all those other reasons. But now that I've actually been using a good product, which is ours, and I've been really experiencing it, like I said, I haven't been sleeping this good, and I don't remember how long. Like sleep is detrimental for how much I work, how much stress I have on my plate, everything. Like I wasn't getting good sleep, and now I'm getting good sleep. My pain, going from taking, 4 to 6 ibuprofen a day, which is horrible for your liver and your stomach, to taking none. Like that's not a
crazy.
Fluke. Like I literally have taken that many ibuprofen a day for like a year, and then to go taking none, to have that pain relief naturally as instead of from a pill. And then the stress and anxiety. You guys can imagine the stress and anxiety I'm under. Like, I don't only have a family to provide for, but I feel like I have to provide for you guys. Because, like I said, I want you guys to make sure your paycheck is there. Our payroll is up to a crazy amount now. Like, that's all on my shoulders. This payroll, keeping your guys' paycheck coming, making sure this company is bringing money in, plus thinking about hitting those long-term visions I give to you guys and I preach to you guys, because I guys want you guys to see the long-term vision here and really buy in and realize what you have here, to back up those claims. Because me saying I want to pay you guys that kind of money, imagine the stress on my shoulders, because I have to grow this company to that level to be able to pay you this money. And that's what I want to do. That's one of my biggest goals right now. So stress, anxiety, that's the biggest thing. On top of balancing that with 4 kids and a wife and keeping everyone happy, it's massive. And since I started taking this, I've noticed a huge decrease, So, yeah, it's great, man. So that's my answer to that question. You guys have any follow-up or any questions or anything? Okay, and that goes into the next question of the night. They all kind of roll together. It says, with all the companies that you own, it's only 2 really. With all the companies you own, how do you determine which gets the most attention? And
that's a good one, yeah.
And this is a really good one, and this is something I've talked about before. I don't know about in a podcast, but I think we talked about in a couple of videos or whatnot. But, too early, people try to branch out too much. Like, that meme we talked about, the typical millionaire has 7 streams of income. And what they don't tell you is the typical millionaire became a millionaire with one company and one focus. So that's how they became a millionaire, like till you collapse. One company, one focus, something they really are passionate about. They became successful at. They got to a point when they, had a huge staff running it. They didn't need to be inside the business working on it. They could work outside the business on growth and stuff like I'm starting to do. And you guys are more in the business, helping keep it going and grow it too. But the thing is they don't tell you, the people see that and they think, oh, I need to have multiple companies, multiple investments, multiple this thing. Well, if you do that too early, you really get spread thin and nothing gets your full focus, nothing gets your full work and focus, and it will never grow to the point it needs to grow. It's like you're spread too thin. Can you imagine having 7 companies at one time?
Yeah, they would all suck.
Yeah, they would all suck. Instead of one company where you give your heart, your soul, your blood, your sweat, your tears, and just grow that, get to the point where you're financially stable and you have a team, like I said, that can run the company. If I want to go on a vacation for 2 weeks, I trust and empower you guys that you guys have the same goal and vision as me. You want this place to run for the 2 weeks I'm gone. You don't want it to go to hell, because that affects all of us. So once you get to that point, which I finally have gotten to in the last probably 5-6 months, then you can start. And that's why I've waited to start another company, then you can start looking at different avenues, because you don't want all your eggs in one basket. You don't. You want to have multiple different investments. You want to have multiple things, but like I said, they don't tell you have to get to that level, become a millionaire with one thing, and then branch out.
Once that first thing's kind of taken care of itself,
And it's never really taken care of itself, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like you don't have to put as much focus into it.
Exactly, where you have a team you trust in, and you can still focus on growing it and building it and making big decisions. But as far as that day in, day out that it requires you, it's not as much type thing. So then you can start focusing on other things, and that's why I'm starting this other company. And I still have my focus on both, but honestly, your focus is going to go a little bit more towards something you're building from the start. Because like I said in that early question, when you're building something from the start, it takes more effort, it takes more focus, takes more time to get off the ground. And once you get it efficient and running and all that kind of stuff, then you can start branching out into other stuff. So as far as that question is, they both get my attention, and you got to be careful too to not for example, Vital Minds is getting a little more attention, a little more hustle and work effort, but TYC is my main focus. TYC is what keeps the bills on at this point. Vital Minds isn't even making any money, so you can't take your eye off the ball of what really is your bread and butter.
Right. Yeah. I see that too. Like trying to make content for both the brands.
Yeah, you
too.
see
it's
it,
like,
right?
how much should I do for this, and I still gotta TYC.
For sure. So it's definitely a juggling act. Just make sure anything you're building is going to take a little more focus and work effort towards, but don't forget that whatever else you have working on, that you still need to give it attention and focus, and make sure that you still are keeping true to the goal, because I'm still have big goals for TYC, so they're still going to take my work. So it's just balancing act, like we talked about the first question with the whole balancing family. Everything in life is a balancing act, and you really have to find a way to make sure you balance things accordingly. Because like I said, if I focus everything on this, and then TYC starts to suffer, so TYC is what pays all of our bills. You know what I mean? So it's like, so the point is to almost be a supplemental income to TYC. Not, even though it could maybe one day overtake TYC, you never know. At this point, it's a supplement, and getting that up and running as fast as possible, and just keeping your eyes on both companies and making sure that you realize that. And if you feel like you're paying attention too much to one, start paying attention to the other one type of thing. So like I said, it's just a balancing act. You need to realize, don't forget your bread and butter, which will be your first original company that got you to where you're at. And just realize that even though you're starting off for something from the ground up that's going to take more time and effort, just don't forget what got you there, basically. It's hard. It's balancing act. Everything in life is. So those are the really good questions. Someone else asked me what my favorite pizza was.
What's your favorite pizza?
I'm a fat kid, so honestly, man, I like all pizza, baby. I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
Can't go wrong.
I like it all.
Pineapples or no?
I mean, I've eaten it, but I don't usually order it.
Not you?
I don't normally order it, no. No, I like pepperoni with a bunch of ranch.
Classic.
Pepperoni bacon, chicken. I mean,
and I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I like it all, man. That's a hard question. I don't have one pizza because I'm a fat kid at heart. So
you just order them all.
I just like pizza. I'll just leave it at that. I like pizza. And then the last question I want to finish up at, and guys, like I said, I hope you're getting something from this, hearing us raw and real talking. I kind of like this vibe. It's kind of cool, you know, right? And
sure.
And you guys answering follow-up questions is kind of cool too, like that question you asked. I think people will get a lot of info from this because it's so real, and I know a lot of people are dealing with this kind of shit. But please, guys, if you're liking this, we'll do this once a week. Honestly, I think it's good. But you guys ask the questions. You guys send in the topics. DM me, email me, however you want to get it to me.
We can set up a call. We'll answer your call right here on the podcast.
Yeah, if you have a good call and you want us to talk to you live on the podcast, you could be the first one next week. Shit, we can do it this week. I really don't care, but it has to take you guys taking that step and taking that step, because honestly, I didn't get that many responses to this question. I thought I would get more, honestly. But
I think now that we've done it, I think people will want to be part of it.
And then somebody asked me, the final one will end. There was another one, but it was kind of similar to the first question, so they're two in the same. So the final one we'll end on is someone said, when did you know you were going to take over the game? And my simple, easy response to that is I'm humbled that you say that, and I appreciate that you think that. But honestly, in my eyes, in my head, I haven't taken over shit, and I'm a very small fish in a big pond at this point as far as my mindset. So I appreciate that you think that of me, but I don't think I've taken anything over. I think I'm just starting to get started, and I have a long way to go. But we're doing okay here, and we're on our way is the way I feel about it. But I don't feel like I've taken over anything, honestly. I just feel like I'm doing a good job. And like I said, this has been a couple years, so it's all new to me. And like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's not, like I said, it's nothing. I don't let it get to my head. I don't think I'm shit, honestly. So I just think that I'm doing something I love, and I'm trying to make a better life for you guys and my family. And I'm grateful and blessed to be here. And I love coming here every day and hanging with you guys and working with you guys. I mean, I think we got it pretty good here. We laugh all day. We make good videos. I mean, it's not a bad
for
life.
when we have to crack out the pumpkin spice, and then it gets a little rough.
Yeah.
Then I'm ready to go.
Except when I shit my pants, or Kyle takes his 7th shit of the day, and we have to clear out the bathroom. But I mean, that's,
then it gets
we're
a
a
little,
family, man. We all take doo-doos. It's okay. Kyle, it's okay, man. We love you. I'm just glad to know it's not a medical condition now, so I won't feel bad when I say something about it. That's good to know. Anyways, guys, that was the first Q&A episode of the podcast.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was real good. It was good. We touched base on stuff. We actually touched base on stuff that we've touched base on before, but I feel like it was more in depth and really like deeper. We got deeper into things than we have before.
Sure.
So hopefully you guys really listen to it and get something from it. Like I said, it's all real and raw and based on real experiences of someone who's taken something 0 to multiple 7 figures, and I'm on the way up. I got bigger goals than 7 figures, 8, 9 figures, and we're on our way. So hopefully you guys take what I said with a grain of salt and really pick something that you can take out of those answers to the questions and apply it to your life, your business. And that's all I really can hope for if you guys take the time and listen to this podcast. But appreciate you guys. The only way we grow is if you share it. I really love to see when you guys, make a video talking about what you got from the podcast, or post a podcast episode and let all your followers know. Because, if you got something from it, I really appreciate you sharing it and helping grow this movement and what we're doing out here. So hope you guys are having a great night or day. Whenever we post this shit, I don't know, Scotty, when are you going to post it? Tomorrow. Let's post it tomorrow. Can't we?
Do it tomorrow,
Maybe we'll get in time, or?
No, we'll be able to do it for sure. Yeah.
Okay. You guys got any other questions for me?
I was going to ask one about team, though.
Okay.
Like you were talking about,
Hold on. I know I just said the exit, but now fucking Kyle wants to ask another question. So hold on.
We'll just cut it in. We'll cut it in.
No, we
early.
won't cut it in. We're keeping it like this after the fucking exit. Okay. We letting people know we don't edit shit. This is raw here.
Well, I was saying, because you always talk about, like, building a team, and you what was it? You said don't start too early. Like, don't take your foot off the gas or start a new business too early.
Yeah.
What about building a team? Like, is it necessary to start out with a team, or is it not necessary to start
No, it's not necessary. So if you guys didn't hear, did you guys? They could hear him.
Yeah, you could probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as far as starting a team, you need to be able to support a team. So, like I've talked about, I think in that question you asked, and you ran up at me in the gym about scaling, similar to that scaling question is, for the first 3.5 years, it was just me and my wife. My wife would model, package ship orders. I would do everything else, and it was almost like a two-man team, and it was just family business. It's still a family business for the first 3.5 years, and the thing is, one thing I've always done, is probably the frugal Persian in me, is I've always done everything with the extreme minimum, because I didn't want this to fail. This is it for me. I'm not going back to work ever for another company. I'll have my own companies I work for. So being as frugal as possible, that's why I did my own website, my own logo, my own designs, my own videography, my own photography, my own customer service, my own social media, my own, all these things that all have separate jobs and employees for. For the first 3.5 years, I was everything. And a lot of companies, they try to hire people and build that team too fast, and that can really handicap your business.
Yeah,
because
I think that's huge for you too, because I see so many people now, they'll like start a business, and like a couple months in, you'll see they have like 10 people on their team. I'm like, damn, like how's that?
And a lot of those go
out,
out of business.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, a lot of those companies and businesses, they have investors.
Right.
They have people. Okay, here's $500,000. Start a business. And what is really handicapped with that is these people haven't been through the trenches. They haven't worked every position in the company like I have. They haven't made those mistakes and learned, so they know how to overcome them and get past them. They're just starting something. They have a great idea. They get these investors. They haven't really experienced it or lived it. They just spend all this money. They have this nice office from day one, this nice furniture, this nice staff.
Yeah.
And before they know it, that $500,000 is gone, and they're really not making any money yet. And that's why a lot of these companies fail, because they have all these expenses before they have income. And for me, it was like, I had no expenses and then income. And then they have no income and a bunch of expenses. They do it the opposite way. So for me, I waited till the very last minute till I physically had to move into a warehouse. So I physically had to hire Carly, an employee, not because I wanted to, because I had to, because I literally couldn't take on any more by myself. And that's the difference is when you don't have any investors, when you start this shit with $300 like I did, when you have no money and you're broke starting a company is a lot different when you have some motherfucker hand you a check for $500,000 and say, okay, start your company.
So is that the same as like you'd go as far to say like, don't go into debt to start your company? Because I know a lot of people say like going into debt to start a company is like, that's good debt. There's a good debt versus like buying a car and being in debt. That's bad debt.
That's a slippery slope because, like with this company, it took about 5-6 years to really start bringing in good income. So you figure if I would have started it with a lot of debt, barely being able to pay my bills, because this has been our sole source of income for all,
right.
My wife takes care of the kids and this is this sole source of income. So if I would have had that debt on top of that, it would really handicap the growth of the company, putting even more stress on extra bills and stuff like that on my shoulders. So there's definitely ways to leverage debt. I would say once your company is bringing in a solid source of income, and like now would be a good time for us to utilize. Yeah. And here's the thing. There's times to use it, but I'm more old school. Like I would rather use cash for everything, So we usually have enough extra cash to grow on our own the way we have. And if you do that, you find a business where you can keep good profit margins and you keep your bills to an extreme minimum, only hire who you need to, only spend what you need to do, to get by, you should have enough extra cash past your working capital to continue to grow the business as we do. So as long as you do it the right way, you should not need that lending. But if you're barely making any money on the product you sell, or if you're spending too much money and your overhead is too much and you're struggling to even cover that, then that's another story. But that's already kind of like starting to go downhill if that's how you're running your business from the start. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. It needs to be profitable. I need to pay all you guys. I need to be able to pay my bills and still have a good amount of money to save each month. So. That's just that's with that answer with that question. There's definitely ways to do it the right way, and I've seen companies have leveraged it. I mean, huge companies like Uber, billion-dollar companies. They took a huge amount of investing, right? Because it's like where you want to get and what it will take to get there. Because in order to grow that big, like hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars,
you need some.
It's going to take a big infusion of capital to really bump everything up and get it really rolling. Because the way we're doing it, it's great. We reach 7 figures. Hopefully we're going to reach 8 figures, But in order to get to those next levels, especially like within our lifetime, because this takes 10 years, that may take 10 years, like you're getting older, right? Yeah. If you want to do it quickly, that infusion of capital, it's all about your goals too. You want to make $1 billion company? Like, that kind of thing. So like I said, we're doing good as we are. I really don't want to sell any part of this company or do anything like that. I'd rather keep it all here. And if I could build an 8 to 9 figure company by doing that, that's a good life for all of us. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? So it's like, why bring that infusion of capital and give up a piece of your company? Yeah, it may bump and grow in 2 years very quickly like these huge companies have done, but we're not going to build $1 billion company here. At least, I don't have a vision for that for this company, honestly. So, that's where we're at, guys. Hopefully you guys got something for this podcast. I'm not going to repeat the outro again because hopefully you guys listened to it. Maybe I'll repeat it again because it was like 10 minutes ago. So please share the podcast. We appreciate you guys sharing it. Tag us on social media and I'll repost you if I see you tagging it. Until next time, we're out.
Later.
I've been through hell and back and the flow still cold. I've been through hell and back and